Well, I guess pay-per-view ain't dead. At least according to Canelo, it ain't. Because he has a lawsuit against his promoter, Golden Boy Promotions, as well as Dazn, based on his contract. It's a $280 million lawsuit. Somebody is going to get paid. We'll be discussing that today on the Boxing Politics. So the crux of the issue appears to be that Dazn doesn't want to accept Canelo's opponents. He's recently tried to push for like Yildirim, a guy who Anthony Durrell recently beat, and I believe he lost his last fight as well. This is the opponent Canelo wanted, coming off of COVID, and his last fight being roughly a year ago, if not more. That's who he wanted to step in the ring with. And Dazn, seeing as they're hemorrhaging money, I mean they're bleeding out money. I don't think they've gotten a good return on anyone as of yet. And they didn't want to accept it. They felt that they should be able to get the fight that they want, and they wanted him to take a pay cut. A significant pay cut. Canelo was guaranteed $35 million a fight, and Dazn said, "Okay, you can get $15 million for this fight." And he said, "Fuck all of that, because that's not the contract. My guarantee is my guarantee. That's my minimum." According to Dazn, in the contract, there's word of a premier opponent, whatever the hell that means. Like, I don't know what qualifies as premier. You could say anybody with a belt is premier, but it's like 900 belts. You could say top 10, but who decides what's really top 10? You have to have that measured out. And when you just say premier, that's like saying really good. That's subjective. There's no premier category. And you could say premier as in what? Premier boxing champions? That's what makes him premier. So every year he has to fight one of the PBC guys. There's no hard and fast qualification for the word premier. So that's gonna mess him up in this lawsuit. Also, Canelo says the contract isn't even between him and Dazn. He's like, that's you and Golden Boy. That's y'all issue. So I just had to guarantee that I was gonna get paid a certain amount of money. That's whatever y'all got going on, y'all got that going on. And it's probably hard to argue with that unless he signed a contract with Dazn exclusively. But that makes me think, well, how can you sue Dazn if you don't have a contract with them? So if your contract is actually with Golden Boy and Golden Boy negotiated all of that out, and you have no direct ties to Dazn, then that's a whole different ball game, and they don't owe you anything. But if it's actually through, well, if it's only with Golden Boy, then that explains why Golden Boy is on the hook for it. And if you've been following, Canelo and Oscar really don't get down. Like, this isn't how it used to be. Well, I don't even know how it used to be. I don't speak Spanish, so whatever they say to each other, you can't tell if they cool or not, coming from this end. So it was something that Ryan Garcia, in the first, him and Canelo had their issues. Then when Ryan started having issues with Oscar, I actually made a video on this. When he started having his issues with him, he jumped ship, and he left his trainer. He went and got himself managed by Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's manager and trainer. So he went and followed that route. So if this lawsuit does go through, I completely expect Ryan to leave. Like, I mean, if this lawsuit has the impact, if they lose $180 million, well, let's divide it in half. A $280 million lawsuit, and both Dazn and Golden Boy found responsible. That's $140 apiece. $140. If they lose that, plus according to the lawsuit with PBC and Golden Boy, Canelo accounts for like 90% of their revenue, or I believe over 100% of their revenue, and then they take, well, not revenue, but 100% of their profit, over 100% of their profit, and they take some of the money that they make from Canelo to pay the other guys. So that's really Canelo Promotions. He just isn't responsible for the extra stuff. It's just not his name on it, but he's the engine behind it. And when you make all the money, you really do make all the rules. So if they playing around with him, he's able to put pressure. Where it comes back to Dazn, I believe Dazn wanted him to fight Gennady Golovkin, which, if that's the hill you choose to die on, you're gonna get sued over Gennady Golovkin. That fight don't mean shit no more. Like, nobody, I don't hear Golovkin's name mentioned on anything. Really, nobody's like, I mean, I know Charlo said he wanted to fight him because he got a belt. They in the middleweights. It's a good name to have, but niggas ain't going out the way like, oh man, we gotta watch this Golovkin fight. People, man, ain't nobody studying Golovkin. Gang none passed on him, man. They're bigger and better fights. They're more interesting. He's on the wrong side of 35, and I don't even know if he's close to touching 40. He's looked bad in his last couple of fights, and I don't really think he's the name. He's not the subscription pusher they really think he is. Like, these people, you got a whole bunch of casual people who don't actually know the sport, or who didn't know the business behind the sport, really pushing the deals that they made for Canelo and Gennady. They gave Gennady ownership in like 120 million. I don't think he earned 120 million his whole career before that, and he was on the tail swing when they signed him. So I'm not getting that. The whole thing seems out of whack. Like, why would this be the hill you die on? Like, first off, why would you sign that contract? Like, that was a ridiculous contract. I guess they was holding their nuts. They was trying to flex on everybody else, like, yeah, we got the money to do this. And they thought once Canelo signed, those who wanted to chase Canelo would go over there. They thought that because they showed a bag that people would sack chase. That they would go chase that bag. Like, oh, okay, you got money, I'm over there now. Like, what? That's not how the game was played. These guys that they were trying to get the PVC guys. They do respect the ownership. Like, they do see themselves as their own bosses. Like, even if there's, like, honestly, the way it goes, it seems like PVC as a platform and the networks do a lot of the pushing, and these guys do, like, they put the promotional company in their name, but I don't see them signing other guys and everything like that. This is a way to keep the money flowing into them, but they still feel like they running their own ship. And why should I give that up because you threw some money at me? Like, I remember a line from the show. They say, you don't give me a paycheck. Nobody gives me a paycheck. You can't pay to keep me in check. And that's what a lot of these guys at the PBC probably feel. You not paying to keep me in check. You know what I'm saying? You ain't throwing some money at me to keep me in line. That's not how this thing gonna operate. And Eddie found that out the hard way. And it looks like Dazn, they finding it out the real deal hard way, that when you do go that route, you better not extend the money. You better not overextend yourself when throwing that money, because they threw money they couldn't afford, and it's coming down bad. But this looks like everywhere Golden Boy has gone, it's looked terrible. Like, HBO faltered once they became the primary promoter there. They were on TV, Estrella, that didn't work. They were on Facebook. Nobody remember that. They were putting fights on Facebook. Nobody watched them hoes. And now they on Dazn. Like, they just looking for a place to stay. I don't know why people get them. It's like, yo, this is a failed product. This is a terrible product. Nobody can make this thing work. Nobody has put this on and it's turned into something good. When Showtime had them, it's because Schaefer and Al Heyman was running the show. And that ain't the case no more. So it's it's looking bad. It's looking real bad for him. And I don't know how they make do with this. They have some good pieces. They got Ryan. They got Victor. Not Victor. I don't know why I say Victor Ortiz. What's my boy? Virgil. They got Virgil Ortiz. So they got pieces, but those pieces ain't generating income. Like Ryan may be generating a little income, but let's see what happened with this. Let's see how quick he probably jumped to Canelo Promotions. Virgil, he's a welterweight, so it's only gonna make sense for him to go ahead, get on TV, start rocking with Showtime, trying to set that. That'll be the super fight they set up, him and Jerron Ennis. Now they got something to build with that part. So the game would be better if Canelo wins, gets this money, and shuts that company down. And then them guys can go back on television and fight real opponents. But it's not. This is not the way the sport was supposed to be done. When Dazn came in, we were able to see that the writing was on the wall when they had their first introduction of their fighters, and they had AJ, they had Big Baby Miller, Demetrius Andrade, who's my guy, Jesse Vargas. Like, what they displayed, this is your grand showing to the world. And like from that point on, it was just a matter of time, and nobody was signing on. They couldn't get big fights. It was a disappointing showing, and I think eventually they just gonna hang it up. There's no point. Now you just holding on because of ego. You might well cut your losses, find a way out your contracts, like pay these contracts off. Like, go ahead, y'all can have it. And then find a way to I don't know what you would do with that app. I don't know, sell it to somebody who might can use it. Some entertainment company that would like to stretch itself from a TV show to an app or something. You know what I'm saying? ESPN already got their app. I don't know if FS1 has their app. Just call Dazn FS1's Dazn and turn it into a FS1 boxing app where they can pretty much mimic the model of what ESPN did with ESPN Plus. I can't call it. It's just it's not a good look for him, and I see that I'm no legal expert. I don't know how this is gonna play out, but I can say Canelo has enough money to hire a good attorney, and if he had a good attorney isn't going to take a failing case, like a obviously failing case. So they have to have something there. They have enough that it may be enough to these guys are going to cut ties, and if they cut ties and Golden Boy has to cut ties with Canelo, then that's the end of Golden Boy. But that's just how I see it, and love to hear any feedback you guys may have. You can reach me on Instagram at TheBoxingPolitic, and we're gonna keep going. Y'all take it easy. Peace.